And I just noticed all those birds orbiting over Boot Key. You see the sun's almost ready to come up over there. The sun will be coming up over here in a minute. Oh, a few minutes. Yeah, interesting to see all those, what I assume are turkey vultures, but I don't really know that that's what they are. In my experience, when you see birds like that, vultures orbiting, that means there's something dead down there. So, I don't know. Well, good morning. The vultures never got me, I'm happy to say. This is Russ, sailing vessel Tautog. We're still in Marathon. And in this episode, we're going to take an outing. And I'm going to go down to a place called Cudjoe Key and take a look at Fat Albert. And only because I saw him yesterday during the sunset, and I thought it was kind of curious and maybe let you know what's going on with that. 7 keys down. You go, I'm on Key Vaca now, then Knights Key, then the 7 Mile Bridge, then Missouri, then Ohio, then Bahia Honda, then Big Pine, then Little Torch, and then I think Summerland, and then I think finally Cudjoe. Not really sure. So it's way down there. But I just want to get some good pictures of Fat. Okay, we're currently on what they call Knights Key. A lot of people say, well, we're on Marathon Key, but the funny thing is, Marathon is not a key at all. Marathon is a group of islands that are incorporated together to form the city of Marathon. So this is Knights Key. And it was one of the significant stops in the warehousing depots during the building of the railroad, I believe. But when you leave Knights Key, you enter the 7 Mile Bridge, which is, believe it or not, 7 miles all the way down to the other end. So off to the right, you'll see the blue bridge, the blue girders. That's the old highway, the old railroad bridge, which was turned into a highway and then since abandoned, and now it's only there for pedestrian use. And we're on the new highway. They just don't build them like that anymore. This structure was made in the early 1900s by a bunch of people aged 20 to 30 pretty much. Incredible. Still standing, still in excellent condition, honestly. And over there is where we're going. Can you see it? That's the question. The white blimp dirigible up in the sky. That's Fat Albert, and that's what we're going to see. Well, let's turn on Blimp Road. Let's see what we got here. And here we are at the end of Blimp Road. And there's Fat Albert up in the sky. And there's the moon, of course. And there's the warning, do not go in sign. Alright, so I've just painted some different colors on my hat, okay? And that's not a significant accomplishment for me, really. But it's a great example of how the cruising lifestyle and the cruising community works. Now, we're sitting here in the Boot Key Harbor, almost 200 boats now on mooring balls. And one of them came last week, and her name is Texas Trails. She's a motor vessel. And Eric and Muffet are on board that boat, and it's a beautiful boat. And so here's the deal. I was looking for just a little bit of paint, like 2 little paintbrush dips, and that's it. I didn't want any more paint than that. So I don't want to go buy a big can of paint. So I kind of put the word out, hey, if anybody has any leftover paints, you know, and you don't mind me daubing a little bit, let me know. And so they did. And it turned out that, so it turns out that they were looking for some scrap pieces of teak, and I happen to have some of them. So I had a bunch of little teeny pieces of teak that were no longer really useful to me. They were getting in the way. I want them off the boat at some point. You know, I'm not panicky about it, but I know at some point they've got to go away. So they were looking for some pieces of teak. I was looking for a little bit of paint, and an added benefit is that Eric has a 3D printer. So it's so cool. And there's a little part I want to get made from my outboard that it would be perfect for a 3D printer. And he can make a part for me in ABS plastic, and that is absolutely perfect. So, and no one even mentions, oh, money needs to exchange hands here, you know. And that's what I like best. We're almost all of us are people who are trying to get out of the mercenary commercial world where everything is about money and how much money you have or how much money you don't have, and people valuing their worth that way. And this community doesn't do that. So for the folks out there who are interested in getting away and escaping from the profane world of money, 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 you know, this really is a place to go. And it could be here, it could have been Luperon in the Dominican Republic, it could be Georgetown, the Bahamas. When you get to great big anchor fields or mooring fields like this, you'll have a community, and almost everybody in it is not interested in even discussing money or trying to earn money or just trying to steal money or anything like that. It's about, hey, I have this skill, I'm free to offer and I'm happy to offer. And it really just kind of, I'll say it really reinforces, you know, my decision to live this way, and I couldn't be happier today with that. It actually reminds me of the part of the Communist Manifesto, frankly. It sounds terrible, but, you know, from each according to their means and to each according to their needs. And that really is the way we live here. So now I have a splotch of blue on my hat, and the next thing is, so how do you know when a piece of equipment has reached the end of service life? Well, blue water jugs. Okay, I bought these in the summer of 2022, about a year and a half ago, not quite, a year and 4 months. And frankly, they're pieces of junk. I bought them from a West Marine, and frankly, I'm very disappointed with them too. They didn't do anything to help make this right. These things are so flimsy that the plastic is just so thin that when you have it full and you set it down, it causes the whole thing to flex. And this is the sort of thing that has happened. Now this one subsequently fell over, and it cracked. It landed on its side like that during that big storm the other day. So it's broken here. Already the spout on this one was broken. The spout now looks like this because the white plastic spout had broken. On this one I've already got leaks. So I hate to do it, you know, you hate to spend money on stuff like this and have to spend money again on the same exact function, but that's the way it is, you know. So I'm very disappointed in Reliance. That's the company that makes these tanks, and I'm very disappointed with West Marine. So I'll tell you that, and I certainly won't be buying my new tanks from them. But the reality is that at the end of the day, I have to buy new tanks. Some things I've learned as a cruiser for 2 years is you need to have water containers, and you need to have diesel cans and things like that. You're not always going to be in a position where you can pull up to a dock and fill your fuel tanks or your water tanks that way. What the hell is that? Oh, okay. No, it's yeah. I turned the camera off because, you know, the crew of Wait and See was chugging by, and I don't really like to stick people on video if they're not prepared for it. It's a privacy and it's a friendliness issue. But, you know, that's Aaron and Chrissy and their dog Chevy Bubba. Chevy Bubba, I love that. Anyway, you got to have jerry cans, whether it's for fresh water or for diesel or for gasoline, and they have to be good quality. And if things like this break, you know, if things like this break, this little spout, you're really going to be in trouble when you're far, far away. My diesel cans I'm pretty happy with. I have 4 of them, and even though the caps all broke in the exact same manner, I'll show you a picture here. the company named Midwest Can, they did do the right thing, and they hooked me up and got me replacement parts, so, and enough to keep me going for years. So I'm happy with that. And I guess that's really the point. You, as part of your many, many pieces of kit, a lot of cruisers start out without cans and containers and funnels to add them. You know, those are the sort of things I think you got to look ahead at, is preparing yourself to come up with makeshift repairs and finding a way to get water from shore. There might be some spigot that you're getting water from, and it might be a mile away. I've seen cruisers report having to go a long distance to get water.
I want to thank David from Sojourner for helping me heave the transmission back on the boat. Appreciate y'all. Also want to say thanks to Russ on Tautog and also the Uno Mas crew. Riding around picking up trash in the harbor after the heavy rain and everything. It always washes down out of the streets and everywhere else. And if you see a piece of trash, maybe pick it up. You know, you don't have to clean the whole harbor, but if everyone picked up 2 or 3 pieces of trash, it really would make a difference.
Damn right.
Appreciate y'all for doing that. Any other comments, questions, people needing help, or thank yous?
Yeah, I'm a compulsive trash picker-upper.
Distant drummer, go ahead.
Yeah, so you see that guy getting towed in. I have no idea what the circumstances are, but I do appreciate that the towboat driver is taking it so nice and slow. That's pretty good stuff. You know, I mean, easier today because it's not windy at all. There's no wind, but that's the way you do it. Slow and controlled. Well, hey there, and well, guys, thanks for watching. This is Russ, Sailing Vessel Tautog. The date is November 24, the day after Thanksgiving. We had a good little potluck last night, well, yesterday afternoon, I should say, and a lot of the folks in the harbor brought some really, really good food, and I was assigned as a volunteer cleaner-upper, so I spent most of my time, I ate, and then I didn't, perform the cleanup duty. But really, we had a pretty good time together, and I said it 100 times. This is a good little community down here, and I'm glad to be here. So again, looking at the date, I'll try to get another episode out in a few days if I have anything worthwhile. It's really mostly cleaning the hull and doing small projects on the boat, and going after that instrumentation on the engine, which I really haven't done much in the last week for. That's what we got. I look forward to your comments, guys. Have a good one. Bye. Expecting is the towboat guy is going to eventually detach and bring himself alongside for a hip tow. That's probably what they'll do, if they're going all the way in the marina anyway. Not quite sure, because he's past all the moorings now. I don't know. We'll see. I'll turn the camera back on if anything exciting happens.